The next question is, how do you implement code reusability? Here, the expectation from the interviewer is you need to explain what are the ways you can reuse your code in your project. In order to answer this question, first you need to know why you need code reusability and what are its benefits. Assume if you are writing a code to perform a functionality and the same functionality is required in another process. So instead of reworking, if you can reuse it, it would save you a lot of development time. In RPA, we design many workflow logics. The same logic might be required in another process. So how are you going to reuse this workflow in that project? This is what you need to answer. Ask yourself the below two questions. What are the options to reuse your code? Sample workflow logic that you have reused. Again, reusable logic depends upon the RPA tool. In case of UiPath, once you design a workflow logic, you can extract that as a workflow and later you can invoke the same workflow wherever it is required. Also, there is another concept in UiPath called libraries. A library is a package which contains multiple reusable components and it can be installed as a dependencies to workflows using package manager. For example, you could create a library that collects data from an Excel spreadsheet and appends it to another file. Next, the library can be packaged and used in another process as an activity. In case of automation anywhere, you have metabots. Metabots are independent blocks that are used for performing common user interface operations such as the logging to the system. Also remember, the reusable workflows are designed with arguments. Each workflows might take some input arguments and return some set of output arguments. For your reference, I have listed down some of the examples of reusable use cases. So the first is application launches. So you might have multiple applications, say web or a desktop. All those applications has to be launched initially in order to start our automation activities. So this application launches can be made reusable so that you can use it in your other processes. Also, its application logins and application logouts also follows the same order. And you can also reuse the file movements. For example, in your process, you might have an input file. You need to copy the input file to the backup path, and once it is completed, you might move into the processed folder. So that workflow can be actually made reusable, and also similar cases for sending email and also for custom logging as well. So just think about what are the workflows that you have used in your project and take some sample examples out of it, which might help you in your interview.